Hi, I'm John Baxter-Brown. I live in England, but I was born in India many, many years ago. I don't want to go into how many years ago. And from my childhood and my early teenage years, there was a certain amount of trauma involved with that got me onto a very self-destructive cycle that was self-harming at times. But more than that, it was a cycle that was just leading me downwards in a spiral. And for me, what happened was I met a girl that I quite fancied. So I started to try and chat her up and get to know her. And she was very, very graceful. She knew how to say no so nicely. And I tried harder. And as I tried harder and I got to know her a bit better and got to know her family, I discovered that they were Christians. They were people who genuinely believed in Jesus. And I found this extraordinary. My experience of church up till that point had by and large been effectively as a dead organisation. And so I started asking questions. They gave me books to read. They gave me a little book called Read, Mark, Learn, which was going through Mark's Gospel. And I started to read the Bible. And for the first time ever, when I was, this was when I was sort of 16, going on 17, I started to find there was something in the Bible that brought it alive to me. And so when I read the Feeding of the 5,000, for example, it was almost like I could see it happening in my imagination, and the book became alive. And so what happened is I started going to church with them, and you know, I tried it out once or twice, and then I found myself over a period of quite a few weeks and months going more regularly with them. And for me, what happened was a very dramatic experience. It happened at about 7:45 p.m. on the 6th of July, 1980, when I was 17 years old. And there was an appeal at the end of a Christian rock concert in the church for those who wanted to know Jesus. My hand went straight up because I knew that's what I wanted. And two things happened for me when I did that. One is all that teenaged angst and anger and pain started to drain away. I could almost feel it, like it was flowing out of me into the ground and away. But secondly, I realized that this person of Jesus, this Palestinian subsistence manual worker from 2,000 years ago, was a real person. He was a historical figure. He actually did live, he actually did die. And I've done some of the sort of academic research that to me gives me adequate grounds to actually believe that that's a historical fact. It's not a myth, it's something that really happened. And it follows from that if this person of Jesus really lived, and it's the way that human beings can come to know God, then every single human being in the world, without exception, needs to be given the opportunity to hear about Jesus and respond to Jesus. And that's where the second bit came in for me when I was converted, was this call for world evangelism. And I didn't know how it was going to work out. I still don't know. There's still the future ahead of me, so I still don't know what's going to happen next. But since then, I've been wanting to find ways of getting the church excited about telling the story of Jesus. And sadly, it took the church 17 years to tell me, and that makes me mad. They should have told me when I was much, much younger. And the church needs to rediscover its passion for Jesus. And that means it needs to rediscover its passion for telling people about Jesus, for living out the gospel, for looking for the weak and the vulnerable, the sick, the ill, those in prison, those who are starving, and going to them with the love of Christ, putting their arms around them as if they were the God's arms, and loving people and telling them that Jesus, that this wonderful, enigmatic, beautiful person of Jesus is the most important person that has ever lived. And they can know him too. And that is my passion.